Now that I have your attention, I get the question, where do I get these pictures that I post of these hurricane models, weather information and stuff? And so I'm going to tell you right now. How about that? I'll tell you right now. First of all, what you should be doing, everybody should know this website, nhc.noaa.gov. This is your official thing. It's got some more information, all these down here. You can click on these and look at these, or you can click on, when you see that window pop up, you can click on that and it'll bring up all the stuff on that storm. There's stuff up here, but they only talk 5 days out, and I get a little more curious than 5 days out because I know that I got some hurricane models that go 10, or weather models that go 10 days out. I mean, yep. And so, your official National Hurricane Center. You also see that I will post frequently Mike's weather page on Facebook. A lot of this stuff just links other pages. This guy, Mike, is down in Tampa, and he was just like me. He was just like a hobbyist, and there's things to sometimes when you click on this, like you click on this one right here, it comes up in it wrong. It brings up tropical tidbits, but it's going to Fiona, so they haven't switched over yet on that. And this is a new page, so we'll go back to Mike's weather page here. But this one here you can click on, and this one, hopefully this, that shows you that, right? Those are some of the hurricane models, and up at the top it tells you, there's a legend that tells you which is what here. I do look at this. I look at this. This is all on Mike's weather page. But where the hurricane models come from is tropical tidbits. Tropical Tidbits, which is Dr. Levi Cohen, now a doctor, and was in Tallahassee for 8 years. Let's go to the front page here, Tropical Tidbits. He has a discussion. This video will be on YouTube or here at Tropical Tidbits. This is the latest one you can see. This is last night or yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This date will be local time for us. He was in Tallahassee for 8 years going to FSU, but now it says he is Dr. Levi Cohen. So congratulations, Dr. Levi Cohen, on finishing your school. And then you go here, forecast models, and this is where I get these guys. You got GFS. We're looking now at GFS. That's the first place it takes you, the GFS. You can hit the play button. First time it goes through, it will be blank, mostly because it's downloading the images as the first time it goes through. And you'll let it run through, and you'll look and you'll see it's coming close. And we're going to talk about what all this means just in a minute as soon as this thing gets through here. Well, that's good enough. We went through far enough for us. You can move this slider once you've hit stop. You can hit next, and these guys are 6 hours apart here. We're gonna talk about this in a minute, how we know what time this is. Okay, let's click this back, the GFS. Let's put this here. We can see we're right at 1,000 millibars there on GFS, and let's click into that. See GFS. The runtime is the time that they did the model, where they did the computer simulation, and you can see here that this is, what does 06Z mean? That is 6 o'clock Zulu time, is what my grandfather said, called it Zulu time. Also GMT will be Zulu time. I don't know what Z means now. I think they use UDT or UT, something like that is what they call it now, but it still says Z here. And so that's Zulu time. Greenwich Mean Time, Zulu time, that's the time in England, and we are 5 hours behind England. So you see the date that they ran the model today. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, Greenwich time, London time, same thing, I think. And then, so we're 5 hours right now behind England. We're 5 hours behind Greenwich. 5 hours behind Zulu. So this means that this morning at 1 o'clock in the morning for us, they ran this model. Same thing over here, and this is the valid. This says October the 1st. It's 6 o'clock in the morning in England. So 1 o'clock, this picture here is 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday. 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday, October 1st. But if we go back one, this is where it gets confusing. So we can see October 1st Zulu time, midnight in England is actually 7 o'clock Friday night. So this is 7 o'clock Friday night. Okay, are you following? We're at midnight Zulu, October 1st is 7 o'clock Friday night for us on this one. Now the ones that we look at, let's go back to this one. GFS goes out 10 days. CMC goes out 10 days. And we can click the back, or we can roll the slider, and then we can look here at this time and see for CMC, we're right, all of these are showing it right around 1,000 millibars when it's getting around us, 1,000 millibars. But what does that mean? And if we're looking at this, this is Friday, 6 o'clock in the morning Zulu. So 1 o'clock Friday morning for CMC shows it right there. Around 1,000 millibars. Now when it gets closer and it's within the 5 days, when I'm starting to look at what the winds will really be, I will go over to NHC. And there's some really cool stuff there. If we go CMC for tropical, you can arrival time of winds. This is when it's going to be 45 miles an hour. Is the earliest reasonable arrival time of this. So there's some really interesting stuff there. Wind speed probabilities, but they only go 5 days out. So let's go back over here and look at this. So we're 1,000 on the CMC. Friday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning. CMC's right over there, has it right over there near us. And this is still a week away. It's going to change a little bit. But we're still looking at around 1,000 millibars. What does 1,000 millibars mean? Well, when I want to know what 1,000 millibars means, I go over to Google and type in hurricane pressure versus wind speed. And this top picture is from this Arizona EDU place. I guess it's ATMO. I click on that and I roll down and I find this picture here. Okay, I find this picture and I click on that and bring it up, and we'll zoom into that. That's the picture at the Arizona.edu wind speed, and they have plotted some hurricanes, but it's in kilometers an hour. So we're looking at 1,000 millibars. We can already see that that's on the lower end of things. And so we're looking at around 1,000 millibars is around 100 kilometers an hour, which is 62.5 miles an hour. When we look at kilometers, we can just go in our calculator and say whatever kilometers an hour times 0.625. 625, which is 5/8. 5/8. 2/3, 5/8. It's 5/8. And so 62 miles an hour is what that guy will be around 1,000. 65 miles an hour. 1,000 millibars. And so if you look at this guy up here, they plotted a hurricane up here at 300 kilometers an hour. So you're going to go like about 2/3 of that is 200 miles an hour. That's going to probably be Hurricane Allen from 1980, which was 180, 190 miles an hour. That would also count probably for, and if you look at the pressure, this is like 905 millibars, 908. down near 900 millibars. It's 200 miles an hour. The Labor Day 1935 hurricane that wiped out the Florida Keys and took the railroad bridge out would fall into that range. But that, they didn't have data, so they didn't probably plot that. That's probably Hurricane Allen. And so if you look here, the 960 range, this is the 120 mile an hour hurricanes. There's a bunch of 120 mile an hour hurricanes right down here at 960. 980, 150, this is about 100 mile an hour range, right? 125 miles an hour, 125, 120. And so when you get in here, we're looking at the 100, and down at 1,000, 62 miles an hour. 65 miles an hour is 1,000 millibars area. So there you go. That is where I get this stuff from. We go to the official when we're within 5 days, and look here, National Hurricane Center. Mike's weather page, you can click on that and look, and there's all kinds of information down here. You can see this guy here. These guys here are hating it up there because they got some real wind coming up into Nova Scotia. But Nova Scotia takes a lot of hits. I'm also going to show you one more little thing that's pretty interesting. CMC, and this is, hopefully those of you who were smart enough to watch this whole video that were at 12 minutes. Tropical tidbits, forecast models, global, and there's all kinds of other things to look at down here. You can, but I just stay over here and look at the global. Icon only goes 5 days. CMC. Interesting that when you put this someplace, when you click the model, it goes to that same corresponding picture. So you can click back and forth and say, well, GFS has it here on Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. GFS has it here Tuesday, 6 o'clock in the morning. And CMC has it here 6 o'clock Tuesday in the morning. Okay, now I'm going to have to go and there's another interesting one that I like to look at. Let's go to Google hurricane track history. I hope I didn't. NOAA historical hurricane tracks. Click on that. Go down here. Hurricane tracking data. I know you can't see this on the phone, but it says hurricane tracking data right here. Let's type in Duval County, Florida. Duval County, Florida. And here we have all the hurricanes that have come through our area, affected our area. When you zoom out, it doesn't show all the hurricane tracks. It only shows the ones that have affected or come close to Duval County. And you can see unnamed 1900 came through here. Here's a bad one. What is that? This is an orange one. That's an orange one. What is it? 1888 unnamed. It looks like that orange one that comes through Florida, through Jacksonville. Oh, now I done clicked on one of them by accident. Let me go, can I click back? No, let's click forward. I want to get that, click on that orange one and see what it is. Duval County, Texas. Shoot. I clicked the wrong one. Duval, Florida. Duval, Florida. Zoom in. Follow this. This is unnamed 1888 is what this is. And you can actually click on the one and it'll bring it up. And you can see that track for that hurricane, that 1888 actual real hurricane. I don't know how to get back to this. And I'll hit arrow back over here. So that's the only real bad hurricane we've had here in Jacksonville. And you see where it came from. Came from Cedar Key. That is the one bad hit we've had, and it was in 1888. We could find Dora in here somewhere. Dora crossed through right here, unnamed 1984. It was blue. It was just didn't even get a name. It was just a disturbance or something. Dora, there's Dora 1964. Took my dad's TV antenna, and then you got wind and pressure over here. Shows knots, and you can follow along on the knots, and you can see this thing got up to 110 knots, 115 knots right there as it's showing it. Very interesting. And there you go. The cool stuff on the internet.